Assalamu alaikum. Pakistan is facing a kind of quite crisis like situation. There is a lack of stability, political stability, and somewhat or maybe quite uncertainty. There is a kind of conflict going on between the ruling party's alliance and the PTI, the main opposition party. PTI wants immediate elections as it is mentioned in the constitution that the elections be held within 90 days of the dissolution of the assemblies. But the government have certain excuses. Supreme Court was there, but the Supreme Court led by the Chief Justice Umar Ata Bandial, he either he didn't know, which he actually knew very well. If a commoner know, then why he couldn't understand the gravity of the situation? He formed a three-member bench instead of a full court bench. Out of the 17, he took the three only. Why did he do that? Maybe because had he done a full court bench, then the outcome might have been different than the one wanted by the Chief Justice. Somehow, National Security Council is going to hold a meeting, and after that, prior to this, the government has passed a resolution in the parliament urging the Prime Minister not to implement the decision taken by the Supreme Court. And now a National Security Council's meeting is going to be held. Now, this National Security Council will see that what should be done. If at all it stands behind the government, then obviously there will be a temporary truce, a temporary silence, or a validation, a kind of validation the government desperately need not to hold the elections. But if at all the National Security Council says something else, then there is a sort of danger of either the emergency, or there might be the probability of a national government. Even some analysts are saying that there is a danger of the martial law. But I think that the martial law is not going to take place. Most probably, either the government of Pakistan is going to hold a kind of emergency will be declared in the country, or that a national government might be in the offing for 2 years or so. There is a little and very little of the probability of the martial law. Why? Because the Pakistan is quite in an economic crisis, and if at all the martial law does occur, what is going to happen then? The world financial institutions, the IMF and the other institutions, they are not going to lend us any money, and the Pakistan will be in a kind of economic disaster, a kind of bankruptcy, which will be quite heavy. The people will be carrying the money, but they will not be able to buy the thing. So that like situation does arise when any of the country, when any of the country goes bankrupt. But now see, either the emergency, the national government, or the martial law. What sort of danger is there and what might happen? But today it is the National Security Council which is going to direct the next affairs in the Pakistan, whether this National Security Council is going to stand behind the government, are going to pressurize, are going to force that these political forces should hold a dialogue and should jointly reach a conclusion, should devise a way to somehow steer the country in the right direction. So that is this is going to be quite a decisive one as per this exercise of holding the National Security Council's meeting. This thing is going to be quite a decisive one, and it will determine what sort of situation is going to take place in the country.